Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the most underrated and overrated brawlers within ranked this season. So as you guys know, I've been sweating Brawl Stars recently, pushing a ton of ranked, and I think probably the most underrated brawler in the game right now has to be Chester. So I know Chester is a popular brawler somewhat, but I just don't see Chester picked enough considering how incredibly strong he is in the meta. I think he's easily an S-tier brawler in the game right now. If you watched my push with Semantic over on Thursday, you can check out the stream. We went Chester so many times. He was suggesting Chester pretty much every single time just because of how strong and versatile he is. As you know, there's been a lot of meta brawlers that have been nerfed and Chester's just stayed the same. So of course that's just going to make him a little bit better in turn, but not only that, he's just super versatile. Of course, he's going to be good into tanks. He's going to be good into everything. Fast movement speed just helps him against so many matchups. And of course, he's got so many different supers that can help him in a lot of different scenarios. He's got healing. He's got stun to help him against assassins. He's got wall break to help him score in Brawl and also break open the map. There's just a lot really going for him. And I'll be very surprised if we don't see a nerf for him in the next set of balance changes, because he is running over the competitive meta. Even this super right here may not seem like the best, but over time it does a lot of damage. This Nita is probably, no, one shot. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Again, hot zones are going to be easy for him. Just his attack is just so hard to juke out consistently. And he's eventually just going to overwhelm everyone. He's going to be able to get in position and he's going to be able to burst you down quickly. If you pair the damage gear on top of him as well, it's just even more broken. He's just so solid in the meta. There's just nothing you can really do against him. Going to be able to kill this Nita easily, run onto the zone, and that's going to be GG's. I didn't even have to try. Chester is just so free, and there's hardly any counters to Chester. When I take a look at the meta and everything around him, I don't really consider that many brawlers too good into him, if you get what I mean. He counters so many of the other lane options. So yeah, Chester easily one of the most underrated in my eyes. I think he's a free win every single time. Let's jump into the next one. Guys, jumping into the second underrated brawler on the list. You guys probably would have guessed it, especially with the buff. It has to be Gus. So I know I probably have a problem with Gus. Like, I just love playing him no matter what. But he is really good in this meta, and he's underrated because I see nobody going. Even in Bounty and Knockout, I think that he's really meta right now. I think the only real counters to him are the other snipers. The other snipers can cause a bit of a problem. For example, like Mandy, Piper. Those are going to be your biggest issues. But still, I think Gus can be pretty decent to them because now he's got a buff to his main attack damage and his Cookie Popper. So of course, the probably situations where I'm saying he's more underrated in is definitely the likes of like gem grabbers and mid. I don't actually see him used much, even though he's a fantastic mid in this meta. I'm also thinking of like some Brawl maps, maybe just any map that isn't grassy. I think Gus is an excellent pick because there's not really too many broken brawlers in this meta, except for Mo, but at least Gus has a knockback with his super. And yeah, hopefully my teammate doesn't die here, or else we are pretty screwed. So we're just waiting for Daryl. I mean, in Knockout, Daryl compositions, we're always going to lose the first round. But after that, we should be pretty good to go. So here we go, get the kill onto Byron. And we're just going to wait and sit with the Daryl. So pretty good. Of course, the good thing about Gus, he pairs really well with a lot of the meta brawlers right now. Literally like Daryl. You could just pop a shield onto him most of the time, and you're going to win. I don't know why this Grey is wasting another super, but we should just be able to run him down easily here. There we go. Yeah, I just love Gus. Like, I literally played him in Gem Grab just before this and just won so easily in the mid. He's so easy to hit his main projectile with, and of course, dealing so much damage with that main shot, it's going to eventually stack up. So that's what I absolutely love. Grey, I don't know what bro is trying there. I think this Sprout should be dead pretty much. There we go. Daryl was just having the time of his life. And there we go. I mean, I didn't even have to really do too much in the gameplay, but still, I picked Gus so much in Knockout, Bounty, Gem Carrier. I think he definitely is back, and he's starting to be better. It's definitely better than like Bell and other sharpshooters like that. People are underrating it. I never see it being played, and I think he's like an 8-tier brawler. So that's another underrated. Let's hop into one last one. So jumping into the final underrated brawler on the list, I went with Melodie, mainly because I think I did a bit of a discredit to Melodie. I think she's still pretty good, especially in the rank meta. I think I put her in C tier. That is definitely not where Melodie is right now. I think at least B tier. But yeah, the problem is, I don't think you can just like blindly go Melodie on like ladder, for example, because there are a lot of Melodie counters out there. But I think there are some good underrated use cases for her. So example, literally this one. I've seen a few people play Melodie on this map, and it can work. It can be pretty annoying to face off against. You got to think Melodie's really good against throwers, and there's a lot of throwers in this meta. I'm going to farm a lot of my free super from this Meg as well. And pop gadget here against Nita, should be able to get the kill. There we go.
and already got my next super. So let's try destroy this bear with my notes. There we go. Right, we destroyed the Meg in the first game. We just need to heal back up and then pretty good. Sandy, I think my wasted super there, which is fantastic. Okay, we can just keep feeding these notes from Meg as well. Let's just sit on the zone. But yeah, normally Melodie's better in like, of course, Heist and Brawl. Yeah, people just kind of forget about Melodie in the draft, and I think she's definitely a decent pick, but you have to be a good Melodie, right? Like, again, for example, I was playing with Luki. I know he's a pro, but he made Melodie look absolutely crazy. So just go to show that she's still pretty good in meta. You know, she's not completely unusable like I made her out to be. I'm sorry, the Melodie mains out there, all three of you. Okay, the problem is we have got a very tough matchup on our hands. We've got Sandy, Nita, and Meg. All of them do, well, we do feed pretty much all of them. So let's try and make a breakaway play down this side. Right, we really need to start getting some time on the zone without feeding this Nita, please. Oh, he fed the Nita one shot. We didn't even need to do that, to be honest. Right, let's try and take Meg's mech down. There we go. Meg's not even using knockback star power as well. We would be getting deleted by that. But yeah, let me know what you think of Melodie. I think Melodie's good. I think I've been having some good success with her so far. Again, people forget about her in the heist meta, and she's still one of the best heist brawlers. Just because she doesn't got a hypercharge doesn't mean that she's bad. Right, we know we can jump on the Meg here because she's got no knockback. We can easily get that kill. There we go. Now let's wait for our shield gear to pop. We're in such a good position. Let's keep just farming our notes from these guys. Let's try not feed Anita the hypercharge. There we go. We can just push up as well because we've got our notes to surround this wall. I think we're good. This should be a win. This should be a win. Right, just a few seconds left. I'm going to dash against the wall because why not? That was a great comeback. But yeah, I think Melodie has got some good use cases. I don't see it nowhere near as enough, as long as it's not like Gale in the meta. But I think most of the time people do end up banning Gale at the moment. So yeah, Melodie, I think she's underrated. I definitely underrated her, so I apologize. But let's jump into the overrated now. Okay, so now we're going to be moving on to the overrated brawlers, starting off with Squeak. So I know that I'm a Squeak main. I'm literally nerd Squeak himself, minus the glasses at the moment. But I think he is very overrated. So I did expect myself that the hypercharge would be pretty good. I just don't think it's that great. I mean, I'm having moments in the meta, especially as a last pick. Squeak is up for consideration. He definitely is. But I'm seeing too much Squeak before last pick. I think if you pick anything, like if you pick Squeak in any order other than 6th pick, you're going to get countered because he doesn't have the DPS. You can run all over him. He just doesn't have the damage that he used to be when he was previously meta. You can see, like, I literally 6th pick Squeak here, and I have an okay matchup. Like, you'd think Nita Chester, like, I'd be an okay counter, but I don't know, I'm not really having the most, well, the best time against me. You see here as well, like, this Nita bear, like, 10k HP. What is Squeak gonna be able to do against that? Like, nothing. I'm just getting cornered because I literally just can't keep up with the DPS against the opponents, so yeah, pretty painful. I mean, Squeak is a good late pick, as I said. There are a few good Squeak maps in the rotation, but I think the role of late pick has definitely gone over to, like, assassins, throwers, etc. He's really fallen down in the pecking order. I think, like, there can be some use cases with his gadget. I don't know. I just don't really consider Squeak too much. I know that a lot of people are testing him. I'll be interested to see the play rates in scrims, whatever else, for Squeak since the hypercharge. I'd imagine that, like, people probably tested him and then realized he just hadn't improved whatsoever. Like, that was the same with me. I saw a new hypercharge. I thought Squeak, I was like, okay, this is going to be pretty good, right? Like, Squeak has always been pretty toxic. His super's always been pretty annoying. Surely it's got to be decent. Well, nope. So let's try and focus down this bear, which is going to be annoying for us again. We're about to get our hypercharge. Let's see if it actually does anything this time. Can we get the pinch with Angelo? Nice, that should be a kill. Beautiful. This Angelo is actually playing good. I've never seen an Angelo in triple dribble until now. But here he goes. He's going to pop up. Oh, maybe this could probably be a goal. Yeah, only Nita and Dynamite got on defense. We actually managed to score that in. I don't know. That I didn't like how the horrible game was Squeak, but at the same time, I just see more impactful numbers. Like, as a late pick, I would have probably rather gone like a Barley here, or even just something other than Squeak. It just doesn't have the X factor anymore. So yeah, I think he is very overrated. People are picking him too much. Let's jump into the next one. Let's jump into the next overrated brawler on my list. I have Buzz. The main reason being is because I just think he's fallen down the pecking order a little bit. I literally read this comment before I recorded the video, and it just makes sense. So Buzz goes to a period where he's actually pretty good in the meta, and then there's just newer assassins with hypercharges, or just new assassins are added, and then Buzz kind of gets forgotten again. So I just think for that reason, He is a little bit on the overrated side. I don't think he's as good as he used to be. Let's try and farm our super from this dynamite, please. Thank you. And you can score that. There we go. I mean, he's not bad. Like, whenever I say a brawler's overrated, I don't mean they're bad. Like, he is still, like, good as a late pick sometimes. But, again, there's just way better options. And it's too far and in between to when Buzz is actually any good. I mean, this small meg is just going to get destroyed surely here. I don't even know what these guys are doing. Like, Buzz into this comp is not even the greatest. Let's see if the Colt... let's see if the Colt is him. Clearly, it's not him. Maybe our BB's him? Maybe? No? Okay. No one is him today. No one is him today. Right. We should be good. Let's just go for the Meg. Meg will have knockback, though, which is unfortunate. Another thing about the meta is... Well, another thing about Buzz is that there's just so many counters to him. Meg, Chester, literally all of these brawlers. Get heal. Everything just seems to have a knockback or something, which just screws Buzz over. So let's just go for the Meg here again. We don't care about the knockback anymore because we have another super. There we go. And we have another super. I mean, yeah, you can still do good things on Buzz. You definitely can. But very, very rarely do I ever think, oh, Buzz. Because I'd rather go Mortis. I'd rather go all of these different brawlers. So he's kind of getting this Fang treatment at the end of the day. But yeah, Buzz completely fallen off in my opinion. Let's jump into the last one. All right, guys, so jumping into the final overrated brawler on the list, I went with Nani. So I know that not many people think that the Nani hype charge is even any good anymore, but I just don't even think Nani's that great anymore in knockout and the bounty meta. Like, you could literally go Nani into anything on any map previously in that meta. I just don't think you can do that anymore. Like I've seen as well over the past few months, pros don't even hardly go Nani on shooting star. Like, I know most people can probably just do that because people aren't too good at juking, so you probably get some good shots with Nani against bad players, but against good players, I don't know, just too much aggression. There's just too many more consistent brawlers in the meta for me, and I just don't think Nani is that good anymore. So yeah, even again, like the hypercharge, if anything, just made Nani a little bit worse because the hypercharge is just terrible. Like, the stat boosts, you get terrible stat boosts. You get, what was it, 15% speed, 15% damage, which you think of most brawlers, they get like 25% or at least 20%. So I don't know why Nani was left behind there. Like, I know Nani does a lot of damage, but at the same time, you think Nani's losing so much value in comparison to other brawlers, and yet the hype charge is terrible. So I just don't really... I mean, Nani's like horrible, but definitely overrated. I think people go Nani too early. I think Nani's more of a counter brawler. So if you're facing off against, I don't know, Piper, Belle, Angelo, Byron maybe on an open map, yeah, then you could probably go Nani for sure. I don't know why that Rico actually popped the hypercharge just yet, but I don't know why we're using Nani even on this scenario, by the way. So we've got to teleport into the Belle. Why not? Getting behind enemy lines. What? Maybe Nani's underrated. Use Nani and dueling beetles. Confirmed it here. So this might be the first time that I'm about to pop hypercharge without my super. I think that's the way that you got to play this Nani hypercharge now, because plain and simple, it just sucks. There's no point using your hypercharge super. It's terrible. There's no reason. There is no reason to. Alright, come on. Someone give me some value. Okay, Lily is there. We're going to pop hypercharge. Let's see how much damage we can do. If it popped, I mean, we may as well just pop it here and just sit on the zone, because there's no way that it can even kill us. So yeah, unfortunately, Nani's just not the brawler that she used to be. She used to be like an 8-tier brawler because the amount of damage she was able to consistently put out. And then they nerfed her damage, what, like 4 months ago? And I've just been seeing her dropping and dropping down in the meta. For me, definitely overrated. So in terms of other brawlers that I missed out as well, got my list right here. I also had Charlie and RT on my underrated because, you know, Charlie's just not really seen at all in the meta anymore. And then RT's just really underrated because his play rates are just terrible, but he's actually pretty good. And then overrated, I also had Sandy and I had Rico as well. So that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time.